Today, we're going to be talking about anxiety, how that impacts your life, and how you're actually making a choice to see it as something that's working against you rather than something that's working for you. Welcome to No More Bullshit. I'm Peggy.
And I'm Marci.
We are two women who believe that life's trials aren't happening to us, they're happening for us.
And we're here to help you turn every why me into watch me.
Because shifting out of victim mode and into empowerment is what we do best.
So join us as we cut through the bullshit and help you see how strong you really are.
Hey, Marci.
Hey, Peggy.
How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm feeling a little anxious today.
Are you?
Which is just like the perfect segue, right? Into what we're going to be talking about.
Totally. We are talking today about anxiety. And I feel like it is such a hot topic. 20 years ago, I don't even remember hearing the word often. And now it's like all day, every day.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's because of social media that we perpetuate this villainization of anxiety and we turn it in? We almost make ourselves anxious about anxiety.
Yes. And it feels like a trend or something. Like it's, I don't know.
It's like, do you ever get into rooms and it's like everybody's one-upping everybody else over their anxiety? Like, you know how you get into that and you're like, oh, I was so anxious, and it's like, oh, well, let me tell you about a time when I was really anxious, or I've been really anxious this week too because of and
right.
I don't know. So I know we're going to talk a lot about this today, about how anxiety is working for us.
Yes.
In a lot of cases, not all cases. I understand there are people that have debilitating anxiety and, you know, the precursor.
Seek medical help. Yeah.
Right. We're not therapists. We're not clinicians. You know, we're just two women who have had our fair share of anxiety or have known people who have had their fair share of anxiety.
True.
And I mean, I'll just come out of the closet. I was on anxiety meds for years.
Yeah.
Literally years. And I went into my doctor one day. I started crying one morning, couldn't stop, made the appointment that morning.
Yeah.
Took off work for the week.
Wow.
Went into the doctor's appointment crying, checked in crying, did all the vitals, crying, could not control it. Doctor comes in crying. And here's what she said to me. She said, in most cases, I would recommend therapy, but we've got a triage here. You can't function right now.
Yeah.
And so we're going to medicate you, and then you need to work through what is causing all of this anxiety.
Wow.
And of course I didn't, because I was anti-therapy. So I, for years, was on anxiety medication. And I mean, it's been years since I've been on it, probably since my weight loss journey, I've been off it. But I know firsthand what that world feels like from a debilitating standpoint.
Wow.
How about you? Have you ever had any?
Honestly, my worst bout with it, I would say, was before I got on like a bunch of supplements for like hormonal shifts and stuff. Just like that week before my cycle, I would have anxiety, and it was so bizarre, and I could talk myself through it and like reason my brain through it. But it was so weird because I've never really struggled with that. I don't know why. It's just how my brain works. So it was bizarre.
I would say that's fair. My anxiety really came on after I had unplanned hysterectomy.
Oh, so it was maybe hormonal too.
For sure. I was going through menopause, but I was young and they had left my ovaries. So there was no HRT for me.
Yeah.
And so it was a slow burn, right, of menopause being triggered. And it was very slow. But because it was slow, it was like a storm front that wouldn't leave, you know, that just got stuck circling and circling.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was in the middle of a lot of life stuff on top of it. And it was just this perfect situation where if that anxiety was in a petri dish, had everything it needed to grow. It was very difficult. It was very hard. But I do believe a lot of that was hormonal. looking
Right.
back in the rearview mirror, but I
Yeah.
obviously
I
didn't get that help that I needed for it.
Right. Let's talk about a couple of facts about anxiety. One of the biggest things I learned in life coaching that was really life changing for me was anxiety only lives in the future. It's like a fear of something coming in the future. And guilt and shame live in the past. But in the present, you have neither, right here, right now. So, anyways, our brains are actually wired to keep us safe. And which is good. We needed that. That's how you're even here. If you're listening to this podcast, great news. Your ancestors survived. They probably had some level of, their brain fearing, okay, I can't go outside right now. There's a saber-toothed tiger. You know what I mean? We don't want to get rid of it completely. It's like the brain's warning signal.
Mhm.
If we're in
It's
a dark
productive.
alley, yeah, totally productive. If we hear footsteps, we want our brain to be like, let's run in the dark alley quickly, But such a small percentage. I think it's 15% of things we worry about with anxiety come true. 15%. And then of those 15%, I think like less than 10% are as bad as we actually thought it would be. Most
One
of
of
the
my
time,
favorite phrases is don't borrow trouble from tomorrow.
oh,
And
exactly.
it's like,
Exactly.
because that's what anxiety is you're just ruining today, worrying about tomorrow. And maybe
Right.
that'll happen and maybe it won't, but it's not happening right now.
Exactly. Exactly. And our brains don't know the difference between real fear, like, oh my gosh, we might starve to death. There's not enough food to go around, versus imaginary fear, like, what if I fail this test coming up and it's horrible and it ruins my whole time getting into college and blah, 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 blah. And so it just doesn't know the difference.
Mhm.
And the other really great thing that I've learned about anxiety and human brains, guess what? You can talk back to it. You don't just have to accept it as like these are the facts. I have to fear this big scary thing. You can actually take a second, take a pause, breathe, and even tell yourself, "Thank you, brain, for the warning. I'll let you know if we need that, or I've got this. It's going to be okay."
Yeah, I think as with a lot of things, but especially with anxiety, because you're right, anxiety, the underlying root of anxiety is fear.
Yes.
And so the only way to disempower fear is to name it
Yes.
and to say to it, okay, you don't have control over me.
Yeah.
And so you just move through the fear. You have to move through the
Totally.
fear. And when you're moving through the fear and you're taking control and you're taking action, you are disempowering that thing that has control over you.
Yes.
But when you give it an inch, it's going to take a mile and it's going to start to lock you up. And you need to move, but you can't move. And I think we need to talk about some ways to get out of that place where you're stuck in the anxiety.
Yes, yes, I agree. One thing there's something called box breathing. Like it's kind of a form of meditation where you would like breathe in for 4 counts, hold at the top for 4 counts, breathe out for 4 counts, hold at the bottom for 4 counts. And you kind of do that. And this is resetting your nervous system. It's slowing
So
it down.
effective.
Yes, or even always make the exhale longer than the inhale. So breathe in for a count of 4, maybe breathe out for a count of 8.
Yeah, I do
Those
like a
are ways.
5-7. That's very
Yes.
disruptive to your brain and it sends different signals to your brain. It's a pattern interrupt is what it is.
Yes. And another way I think is just to like journal your surroundings at that moment. Like use your 5 senses. What are you seeing? What are you tasting? What are you smelling? What are you hearing? And it's basically getting out of that future anxiety moment, fear of whatever, and is bringing you back to the right now where there is no anxiety. Like you're okay right now. And I love to reassure myself, like, Marci, you've taken care of so many things in your life, and if something happens, we will take care of that as well.
Yeah, and I think 100%. Like look at the past because the best predictor of the future is the past. And so if you have all of these moments where you had fear, but you pushed through and the thing you were afraid of didn't happen, in fact, something better did, Or you have where, you did the thing you didn't think you could do and you took action anyway. And maybe you did fail, but you survived it, right? The worst thing did happen, but you got on the other side of that and you survived it. So why would this be any different? Why would this be any different? Because your best predictor of the future is the past. And you got through it then and you'll get through it now. So if the worst happens, you'll get through it because you always do. You always have. And those are really reassuring thoughts to me when I get that paralyzed feeling. And another thing I really like to do is a real, not real journaling. What's real?
Okay.
What is fact? And what isn't real? What am I making up in my head? Because I have a great imagination. And I can convince myself that these things are true. So what is real versus what isn't real? And that takes away some of the power over this imagined thing also. And
I love that.
It puts it into perspective. Now, one thing I will say about anxiety is I think it's incredibly productive. Anxiety pushes you into motion. It is the signal that says move, right? For whatever reason. And sometimes the things that scare us the most are the things we need to grow.
Right. Good point. I mean, I think about the powerful side of anxiety would be like, oh, you're fearing for money in the future. You're going to prepare for retirement or whatever. You know what I mean? Like there are things like that it's like helping you. Another thing though, when my brain gets racy and going, a couple questions I love to ask myself is like, how do we make this more fun? Like, what does that look like? Do we have a special coffee while we do the hard thing? Do we take little breaks and watch a funny reel? I mean, I don't know. Like, let's make it fun somehow. And then I also love the thought, what if it turns out better than I'm imagining? What if it actually turns out really, really, really good?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a good, like, almost giving your thought, the positive thought, more airtime. Like, I feel like anxiety can just be so crippling and like almost like on a loop in our head. But if it really deserves, your brain deserves at least equal parts, like the possibility it might turn out amazing.
Yeah, I agree. And I think anytime you can reframe it, like, okay, I'm so anxious over the worst, but what's the best that could happen? What is the best possible scenario here?
Exactly.
And I'm just so focused on this other thing. And then I also think I'm a big fan of get yourself out of the circumstance. So maybe you're sitting in your office and you're anxious about whatever it is. To go take a walk. Go call a friend. Go get a massage. Go, whatever it is, go do something that is the exact opposite of the thing you can't work through right now and reset your brain. Give it something else to think about. Give it something else to focus on. Because here's the thing. The stuff you're anxious about right now, and you say this all the time, it lives in the future.
Yeah.
And I guarantee between now and that future point, something else is going to drop in that's a bigger priority than that future point that you're nervous about. And it's going to put it all into perspective for you. Could be a health problem, could be something real in your life, like a tire blew on your car. And now you have this other thing you've got to focus on, and you've forgotten all about this thing you were anxious about.
Right.
And then you realize, oh God, that was so stupid. Like, I was worrying about this thing and it wasn't even real. And then this real thing happened that I couldn't even have like planned for. And it put it into perspective.
That's a good example. Like, let's just pretend somebody was fearing their tire was going to blow on the highway or something. And they're chewing on that for months. They're thinking this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. Then let's pretend it happens. The minute the negative thing happens, your brain goes into problem-solving mode versus like stewing on it, stirring on it, worrying about it. Like, it's such a different approach. So why borrow the trouble in the future when you know your human brain naturally is a problem solver? That's, you didn't know how to walk and now you know how to walk. You didn't know how to feed yourself. Now you know how to feed yourself. It's naturally going to go to solve the problem. So why worry about the problem so far in the future? I know it feels like you can anticipate it and prevent it, but it's like sitting on a rocking chair. You're going to be doing something, but you're going to be going nowhere. Human brains are wired to solve problems. They are wired to. And it's crazy because, like, back in the day, we needed that. Food, water, shelter were scarce. You had to hustle for it. Nowadays, we don't really need that. We have grocery stores and air conditioning and warm jackets. And so, if you don't hand your brain a good problem to solve, it will just go looking for any problem it comes up with to solve. It's like giving a toddler a crayon, no, actually a permanent marker in a white hallway. And they're like, just crazy. But if you hand your brain a good problem to solve, then it'll go to work on that problem. It's like a little hamster that needs a wheel.
Mm-hmm.
This week at work, at the salon, one of my clients she told me she had woken up at 2 a.m. She had applied for this job and she's high up in her company. And you had to apply for the job, but there were 2 options of jobs you may get. And she was like, I think I really want this one. I think I'm qualified, blah, blah, blah. This other person also applied for it. And what if they go with that person? Or the other job that it was like the double application. She's like, what if they want me for that one and I don't want it? Then what, da, da, da. I mean, she was like spiraling on this. And she was like, I said, let's talk this out. And I said, one, let's find some better thoughts about it. Like, you are really good at your job and this might just be a stepping stone to something higher. You might like the bad job you don't want to take, or if you don't like it, you'll find another path. Like, you've got the hustle, the drive, the connections. Like, just because you take a job doesn't mean you have to stick with it for the rest of your life. And another thought was like, if you don't get any of them, maybe more opportunities are coming down the pipe. Maybe those weren't meant for you. Maybe this is protecting you from something. So I think so we were just kind of like troubleshooting it, but her brain had just gone to like scariest, worst case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
What if I don't get it and I'm completely rejected and feel bad, even though she still has a job?
Right.
Or what if I get it and I hate it? I mean, she had woken up like 2 a.m. like
Spiral.
Yeah. And I think another powerful tool, and I've talked about it before, but I did tell her about it, is called the worry box.
Oh, yeah.
And you picture a box with a lid and a lock. Might look like a treasure chest. I don't know. And then you put the problem in the box until a designated time, like 2 p.m. on a Sunday. And then at that time, you open the box and worry about whatever you want for 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
But you tell your brain, thank you, brain. I got it in the worry box. I will think on it Sunday at 2 p.m. And for some reason, when you give your brain that message, it lets it go. It just doesn't, it wants to know it's been acknowledged and it will be taken care of.
It's huge.
And then it can move on to the next thought. If you just try to stuff it, it won't let it go. It will explode back up.
And a lot of times with that, I have to do the physical act of writing it down.
Oh, good. So you actually have like a physical list.
I have to, because if I don't, it's my journaling, but if I don't, my brain won't let it go because it's afraid I'm going to forget. I'm going to forget to come back and visit it. It's like, how are you going to remember? Because you have so many things you're worrying about.
Yes.
This isn't the only thing you're worrying about. So how are you going to remember to come back and like visit me and let me have my voice? So if I just go, okay, brain, it's on the list.
Let it go.
Sunday at 2, we're going to come back and I'm going to look at you. And if you're still a problem, we'll talk about it.
Right. And that's the funny part. So when Sunday at 2 comes, a lot of times you don't even care anymore.
It's not a problem.
That is like that is because anxiety is like a plant. So the more times you water it and give it attention and sunshine and feed it, that is going to grow and grow and grow. So it's almost like you have to starve it out a little bit and not give it airtime and like change your thought to something more positive you actually want to give energy to.
Yeah, for sure. That is such a good point because first of all, when we gnaw at it, it usually is like a seed that's going to sprout and become invasive in your garden because
Yes.
it just grows and grows and grows and it starts to overtake all the good things that are going on.
Right.
I mean, just think about a garden. Because I mean,
Yeah.
I don't actually think anxiety is a bad thing. I think the reframe is it's working for you because it does spur you into motion. And it is something that is under there that you're going, wait, why am I even worried about that? Like there's something
Right.
there, right, that you need to
Yes.
visit. And so it's working for you until it becomes this invasive plant. And so you might have like beautiful I don't know, let's just say black-eyed Susans in your
Okay.
garden bed, and they're gorgeous. But we've all seen the really beautiful version of the black-eyed Susan that's grown and it's contained and it's really filling in that little corner of the garden really nicely. But then we've
Yes.
also seen the version where it looks like a weed and it's taken over the coneflower and it's taken over the grasses and it's taken over the roses because it's been allowed to just reseed and grow
Yes.
and grow. And this
Right.
thing that what had a productive purpose becomes this invasive part of your life that is overshadowing all the other beauty that's out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why we can't keep letting it just grow on its own. We got to weed it back. We've got to prune it back. And we've got to say to it, like, I'm going to give you your list. You're over here. You're going to
Yeah.
stay in your spot of my garden. And you don't get to go
Yes.
any further than this. And when I need you, when I want to clip you and put you in my house, I will do that. But right
Right.
now, you're ruining everything else. And so
Right.
you've got to keep it into perspective. Is it working for me or is it working against me? And one of the things I think is hard for me personally, and I just wonder if other people struggle with this, is being able to differentiate between the warning signal that is anxiety versus
Yeah.
the warning signal that is intuition.
Ooh. Okay. Yes. Good point.
Because sometimes we do need to listen.
Yeah. How
And
do
there
we
have
know when
been
it's
times
time?
I've tried to put it into my 2 p.m. box for Sunday, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"I should have listened." And I'll give you a prime example.
Okay. Good. I want one.
It was this week, running behind, didn't get our podcast episode for Thursday edited in a normal time frame, right? Because I'm
Okay.
Peggy the procrastinator. We've talked about this. So I procrastinate. I've got all the time in the world in my little la la land. And then I was TikTok running out of the time. So I go to music trivia, leave early, come back,
Oh, yes.
edit, right? And I literally fall asleep editing. Wake up at like 2 in the morning. I'm like, mother trucker, this thing's got to be out by 5:30 to hit our normal times. So I finish editing it really quick. Something just in that haze of sleep says to me, I don't know if that edit was very good. And there were some things we needed, private things that needed to be out of that
Yeah. Yeah.
episode. That's the
Totally.
reality of
Yeah.
podcasting. Sometimes you say things and then you're like, no, make sure
Yeah.
we edit that. And so I'm like, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. And then about 10 minutes later, I thought, how many times have I said that to myself and regretted it? Just listen to it
Oh,
while you're laying here.
wow. Wow.
So I listened to it. I went in and listened to it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I missed so much. Went back
Wow.
into a complete re-edit
Wow. Wow. Wow.
before that 5:30. And I'm telling you, had that come out, there would have been some fallout probably. I
Wow.
just think there would have.
Yeah.
Not because we said anything wrong, but because of how
Yes.
somebody might have misinterpreted what we said because I left
Oh,
a
okay.
story in there. And
Yes.
I was like, oh, I am so glad I listened to
That
my
you listened.
intuition versus turning
Yeah.
that just into anxiety that I needed to keep quiet.
Right. I think that's a good example because that is something like you can address it today. It's not like, oh my gosh, what if in 20 years my kids are still living in my basement? It's like, no, you can't do anything with that. That's like stupid anxiety. Like, that is like, listen to this podcast. There's actionable steps, there's approachable steps. It's not going to cost you 5 years of your life to do it. It's just quick. And so I think that's a very good example of
Yeah, I
like
think that
listen to it.
reframe on it too is how do you tell the difference? Could
Yeah.
I today make a step if that is true? If it's true, can I make a step to correct whatever it is I'm anxious about? Then take action because that is your intuition. That's how you know. That's your intuition saying, don't let this go. Don't ignore me. Don't let this go. I woke you up for a reason.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Versus I woke you up at 2 p.m. because you're worried. Like when I wake up and have that thought, I'm like, okay, you're being ridiculous. You're just wanting to protect
You're not
your
like going to go
baby
bubble
and
wrap
her heart.
Pinto.
Right. And so let that go. But at 2 a.m., how often do we wake up? And at 2 a.m., it feels real. Like these things that you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, what was I even worrying about that for? At 2 a.m. in the morning, for whatever reason, those things seem so important. And I think just saying to it, this isn't real. This isn't real.
Or just writing it down.
Yeah. Put it on your notepad. Keep a notepad by your bed, guys.
Yes.
Do it.
I am not a big 2 a.m. waker upper other than to like go to the bathroom. But when I held this fundraising event for a local charity that we love, and it was like me and two other women were doing all of it pretty much, you know. And I remember at that point in time, like sitting up straight in bed at 2 a.m. being like, where did we have this person sitting? Which table is it? You know, like it was insane, stupid stuff. I like have never, it just felt so big. And it didn't need to, you know, but it was just really interesting.
But I think in that situation, I think that's a really good point because there's a difference between the 2 a.m. wake up that is like manufactured. It's like, it's almost like, I wonder if those 2 a.m. wake ups with that debilitating anxiety over something that isn't real, if that is because we've been too busy to listen all day long. And so we just haven't like let that move and flow through us. It's not like we had to like buy into it when the anxiety thought bubble came in, but it is like, okay, I'm just going to sit here. And, you know, meditation does this for you. You sit and you have those little clouds of thought that come through while you're in meditation, right? And so it's like it flows in, but we don't let it land. We're just like, okay, flow in and flow out. And it's like, okay, well, that cloud was shaped like anxiety over Pinto. Interesting. Well, that cloud was shaped over worrying about when will my car break down. Interesting. You know,
observing it, not giving it energy.
Right. You just watch it float by, but you give it like, I acknowledge you. I witness you. I see you. And when we're really busy during the day, we don't do that. And so it's like, wait a minute, you didn't pay attention to me. So I'm going to wake you up when you don't have anything else around you to distract you. And now I'm going to really make you pay attention to me.
I'm going to rock your world.
I'm going to rock your world. And so then it seems so much bigger than it is. So I think creating pockets of quiet during your day actually helps that anxiety move through you differently than if you aren't doing that.
Right. Some people name their emotions kind of like, what was that movie with like one of my life coaches? I think she calls her anxiety like judgmental Judy or something. And basically like when Judy brings something to the forefront and she's like, oh, interesting. Thank you, Judy. And she even like has a visualization of like what it looks like and what color it is and what, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's just a very fascinating concept to me. Like, when COVID happened, I heard like some people that were both spouses were working from home. If somebody would leave like coffee cups around, they'd be like, oh, that coworker Sheila. Like they would just like make up a character to blame to like take that negative energy. And I think it's kind of like that, being like, okay, Judy, thanks for the anxiety. Check you later. You know, and you can kind of like disassociate. Like it doesn't own you. It's not a part of you.
You're just the observer of it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're a curious observer. And I was thinking as you were saying that, like, because in astrology we say we very much are like, be the observer of all of these different things that are kind of impacting you emotionally. Because then you're just the witness of it and you're just curious about it.
Right.
But I think if you are someone who is in the middle, like like I'm talking from a healed perspective, but I have also been in that unhealed version of anxiety where it's so debilitating, you almost feel powerless to take control of it.
Right.
And it's very hard to even imagine a scenario where you can be the observer or watch the
Yes.
cloud of anxiety go by because it just has such a chokehold on you. And
Right.
so, especially if you are resisting medication to you're
Mm,
trying to control it yourself. Like once it gets to that
right.
debilitating point, for me, the reset was getting on
Given a
medication.
choice.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I could function. But
Right.
not everybody does that. And that's, everybody's on their own journey. For me, that worked. And but I didn't want to be on it forever. So when I had the time, I figured out what do I have to do to be able to control this on my own. But I had to be able to
Yeah.
get to a healthy brain space to be able to have those thoughts,
Right.
right? Of how do I do this? However, what I think is on that list, you know how we're saying put it in your box and visit it on
Mhm.
Sunday at 2 p.m. Well, if you're making the journal list of your anxiety and you're just putting it on there, Sunday at 2 p.m., maybe actually go back to that list and look for a common theme.
Ooh,
Where were
I
common
love
themes
that.
there? Because common themes might be something that, as the observer, are now actually worth your time.
Yes. I
You
love
might
this.
actually need to spend some time there on that.
Yeah. Yes. I agree. That makes a lot of sense. And like, is that kind of like like a symbol warning, something that's
Just
like
get
coming?
curious about that theme.
Yeah,
And like
exactly.
now start maybe your next step is you see the theme, you've recognized it, you found the through line,
Yes.
right? The golden thread.
Yes.
And now your next step is when you feel tempted to add it to your anxiety list, your visit later list, your
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
lunch date for Sunday at 2 or whatever it is, coffee date with anxiety at 2 or Judy or however you want to do it, make it fun.
Right.
But when you
Right.
put it on that list, don't only just add it to the list, look at what just happened in your environment that
Yep.
triggered it. And now you might
Ooh.
start to find some common themes of what is
Yes.
bringing on this anxiety for me. Is it
Yeah.
a person? Is it a situation? Is it a
Yes.
comment? Is it a time of day? Because then
Yeah.
maybe that's a hormonal thing. Is it a time of month where you're seeing these
Right.
common themes coming up?
True.
So
True.
you start to then figure out, well, what is the remedy to this? Because if I can figure out the
Yes.
trigger, then I can figure out the solution.
You're breaking down the problem into like palatable steps
Mhm.
to like address it. And I will say this. Okay, in therapy, like let's say somebody had anxiety and they went to like therapy. They would really try to get to the root of it. Like what happened when you were 4 years
Yeah.
old that caused it. In life coaching, we're like, it doesn't really matter. It matters if you want to get over it or if you want to like roll around in the mud and keep it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like you don't what I'm saying is you don't always have to break things down into the tiniest morsel if you don't want to. Cause I actually think sometimes when people break things down too much, it spirals you into worse anxiety.
Well, it just now you're like, okay, that thing becomes a whole nother thing because of the layers, right?
Yes.
There's so many layers. And if
Yes.
you don't have the time to go in and
Then
do that
just
deep work,
right.
because
Right.
your
You're
life is
allowed to
hectic
just
and it's
release it.
busy.
Yeah.
You just don't
Yes.
have months to go to the breath work and do the nervous system regulation and go to the therapist
Yeah.
every week. You just have to get from point A to point B every day without hating your life. And so, how do you do that? And
Yes.
so, I think both, I actually think you do eventually need to heal it because it will always be
Right.
something that is going to be something you're
Right.
managing in
But
your
if you're
life.
not ready yet,
But if you're
it's
not
okay.
ready yet, or you don't have the time yet, which I didn't when I was in that situation, I didn't
Yeah.
have the
Yeah.
time. I had a sick mom. I had children that had needs that I had to be there for. I was traveling all
Right.
the time. I was
Right.
working. I didn't have the time to do the
Yeah.
work to heal
Yeah.
whatever the thing was, right?
Yes.
I didn't even want to
Yes.
know, to be
Yeah.
honest.
You're like, I'm exhausted. Thanks.
I just needed to be able to show up for the people who needed me
hmm
and be able to recognize joy in my life.
I love that. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm just thinking a lot of women listen to this podcast, some men, a lot of women And I know a lot of moms that have a lot of anxiety, often around their children. So, what is like, let's say someone's spiraling and she's like, oh, but I got to worry about my kid going to college. And I got to worry about my kid doing drugs. I got to worry about my kid drinking. I got to worry about my kid sneaking out. I got to worry about my kid getting bullied, blah, blah, blah. What would be like 2 or 3 hot tips to help them get out of this cycled, patterned behavior that they're so used to, they don't know how to break it?
First of all, I think it's all about control. Don't you think that's just a control thing? Like you don't want to lose control. You're afraid of what happens if I let go of control here.
Mic drop. Yep. Quit being so controlling.
So take all that control and put it towards something you actually can control, which is yourself.
Good.
So find something else that wants you to control it. What is
Like
something,
what?
I don't know, like a craft, a hobby. So let's say you take up cross stitch.
Yes.
Now I can control cross stitch. I can control a watercolor painting. I can control a dinner party that I'm planning.
Yes.
Give your mind and all of that need to control something in your, I can control how I am approaching my tennis game.
A good problem to solve is what you're saying.
Yeah. And something that you can take all of that anxiety and all of that energy and make it productive. Because honestly, learning tennis is frustrating. And getting good at tennis is frustrating. And it takes a lot of control and a lot of time and a lot of hours, and you've got to schedule things, and that's all control. So make that control be productive control where you're learning a skill and you're getting better at something, and it's about you, and give everybody else in your life that you are trying to control everything that they do a break.
And when you stop micromanaging other humans, it indirectly tells them, I have confidence in you. You've got this. I've got confidence in you. You're going to make the right choices. I have confidence in you. You have your own back. And I don't need to do it for you. And I think that's such a valuable lesson to indirectly teach.
Now, I was with someone who loves control. And
they love control.
Love
so you said,
control.
Okay.
But the interesting thing with this human, and I'm not sure if this is all controlling humans, because I'm not a terribly, horribly controlling. Like we all have our moments, right? Like you can say I'm not controlling, but there is like maybe one area in your life you're like,
oh, for sure.
With an asterisk, right? But in general, I'm pretty much like, you do you. You know, I have faith and trust and all of the things.
Right.
Now, this human loves to have control. However, what I've noticed with people who love to have control is that they also love to bitch about everybody depending on them and can't make a move without them telling them what to do. Right? So it's like the martyr with control.
Ridiculous.
Right? And so they're frustrated with everybody around them because why can't they just see this? Why can't they just do this? Why do I have to tell them? Blah, blah, blah. And it's because, girl, you never give them a chance. They've never had to learn that skill because that's the pattern repeat you've built. And the only person who's going to change that is you, because you stop telling everybody what to do. And now suddenly they've got to figure it out for themselves.
And don't you think people that are like ultra controlling like that probably have a lot of anxiety, trying to control everyone else, trying to manipulate and control their experience, are actually the most annoying people to be around? So, okay, let's just say like 1 or 2 quick tips. If somebody's in an anxiety spiral that's not like clinical grade, like go to the hospital.
Go to the hospital, get to a therapist, all of that. We're not saying don't do that.
Right. You might need that.
But
if you are you just pitter-pattering in a little anxiety and you don't like it, let's each say one thing that we would suggest, like right off the bat. I can go first if you want.
Okay, go.
Okay. Give yourself a fun, good problem to solve. And here's my little example of this with my life coach. Somebody had called in and said, like, one week she called in and was like, my kids are so messy. My house is constantly trashed. It's like, I hate it. How do I do this? Blah, blah, blah. And the life coach was like helping her through it. So then the next week she calls again and they were like, she said, okay, I started this lip sense business. I'm selling lipstick, blah, blah, blah. How should I market it? Who should I market it to? Blah, blah, blah. And the woman's like, I'm totally cool to help you with the lip sense thing. But really quick, did you figure out the house cleaning thing, like the kids and the mess and the this and the that? And she was like, oh no, they're still messy. But it was just giving her brain a fun problem to solve, like starting a lip sense business was the fun, cool problem to solve that made her be like, screw the dishes in the sink. It'll get done one day. No big deal. Like she let it go. The obsession of controlling her children's mess no longer captured her fun, creative problem solving side. But when her brain didn't have a fun, creative problem, it went looking for any old problem to solve. And it was a stupid problem that's really hard, which is controlling children doing dishes.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's such good advice. Totally great advice. Mine is different than that. Mine is more about regulating your nervous system through the habits that you do. Because here's the deal. If you aren't sleeping a normal amount of hours, if you are in that exhausted state, or you're drinking a lot and you're inflamed and you've got anxiety spirals from drinking, we all know that gets brought on, or you're not taking care of your health and you're not taking care of yourself, perspective is very hard to find. So it's very hard when you are coming at something from an exhausted state to be able to have a rational brain. And say, because think about like when you're raising your babies and they're brand new, how everything seems so much harder because you are sleep deprived.
You're exhausted.
You're exhausted.
Yeah.
Sleep is going to be the number one thing that is going to help you be able to keep things in perspective.
True.
You have to have it. Now, we don't all have the ability to sleep 12 hours a day, right? Half of your day away. However, the key is you have to get into REM sleep. So that REM sleep, that's the key. You've got to let your brain get to that deep, deep place. And that's how it resets and that's how it gets better. And then moments of quiet. So even if it's 3 minutes of meditation a day, it will change your life.
Wow, I love it. No, that's good. That's good. Yes. Well, I hope this has helped people reframe anxiety, realize it's not always the enemy, and also realize you're not falling victim to it. You can do things about it.
Yeah, and share with us in the comments or DM us on Instagram. I really would love to know if anything we just said shifted anxiety in the way you look at it, the way you think about it. And maybe you're going to try something new because it means a lot to us to know that we're actually helping you. And so I hope that's what this did because it is near and dear to my heart.
Totally. And share and like, and please leave reviews.
Yeah. Subscribe, follow, all the things.
Yes.
It matters so much more than you think. Because that algorithm, she is a thirsty bitch. That's all I'm going to say. Thirsty bitch.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, you've got this.
You've got this.
Okay.
All right. That's our shift for today. Go live, laugh, and do one bold thing before the next episode drops.
Follow us at No More Bullshift and keep the conversation going.
Because if you can't laugh about it,
you probably still need to shift it.